Hopefully it doesn't crash. Okay, so this is an analysis of another ranked match. It is me on the ladder as the Lithuanians versus Franks, so two very strong cavalry civs. Um, and this is around 12, like 30 elo, so just around 1200. Um, the I've been trying to learn Lithuanians a little bit more recently, trying to really get the pre-mill drush down, and I think it's such a strong play to kind of put some pressure on the opponent and kind of be able to react in time in feudal age. But if we think about for this matchup on Arabia, like the way the match kind of would play out, um, Franks get the free bonuses from an HP perspective on scouts, and um, certainly knights, where as Lithuanians would have to research bloodlines for that. Um, the really kind of depends a little bit on the map. If the berries are kind of exposed and forward, it's a little bit sketchier to do a scout rush, and it depending on like how good the map is, my drush pre-mill drush could probably go into sort of like a fast castle play depending on how well I wall and defend my walls. But anyway, you'll kind of see early on. This is a really good example of a game where, as I almost lose this villager here, it's a good example of a game where it showcases kind of like the difference in the counters. I really don't play a good feudal age, honestly. I fell pretty far behind, and then that translated a lot into having to defend in the castle age. But then you'll kind of see how the game progresses. I kind of take back kind of map control and really terminate the game in post-imperial. But yeah, it's a very interesting matchup. So you can see I'm going pre-mill drush, though it wasn't the best build. They're going man-at-arms. Man-at-arms isn't actually something that you typically expect from, and it's actually 20 pop man-at-arms into archers, I guess, is what they're trying to do with this. But it's not a typical like build you'd come to expect because, let me just slow down a bit here. Franks, they have scouts, right? They have the best scouts in the feudal age with a plus 20% hit points. They usually can do a pretty nice 19 pop 20 pop scout build easy, and the kind of depending on I guess how exposed their berries are, that plays into like whether they should do drush or man at arms or go right into scouts. But I guess maybe this player chose to decide to do man at arms because they had exposed berries and wanted to kind of fight, and then once they felt secure they could transition or something like that. But so we actually, this is kind of bad scouting by me because I was pushing in some deer, but he hits me honestly with his man at arms before I even hit him. So that's not good. I mean, we're kind of, we're both attacking each other for sure now, and I'm really surprised to see this. I gotta say, him being on gold, because Franks usually want to build a bunch of farms and go into scouts, right? Like a lot of map control, but they're going on 3 on gold tells me they want to go archers, which is again very unorthodox, but maybe sometimes that's just the way to play it. And so here, I don't do honestly a great job with walling. It's actually the feudal age is a little bit of a disaster. So I've kicked him off gold. He's got some idols. I'm trying to quick wall. This quick wall failed because I forgot to close this side, and it really teaches me to like learn to be better about man at arm defense. Like the right way to play against man at arms is usually you want to like instead of like full wall your base, which takes too much time. You want to wall it in a way that they'd have to walk through town center fire just to get to your resources. But I didn't quite wall like that. So I didn't build like a wall in this direction. I didn't build a wall in this direction. They're doing a great job hitting the berries, kicking me off of my food resource. I'm forced into straggler trees, and the whole time, like the thing I was trying to focus on is when you're taking a ton of damage economically like this, gotta still keep the vil production going. And my thought was, even if I don't have gold, like if I get an archer up, great. If I can't, getting a skirmisher can still kind of push off the enemy a little bit. They don't do a lot of damage to man-at-arms, but because Lithuanian skirms are so fast, they with the proper micro, they can be really good at kind of just defending your base. And then on the south side here, I kicked them off gold, which is smart. And I probably should have gone over to the berries next. I don't know why I didn't, and try to hit their lumber. Maybe it was in anticipation of the lumber camp. But anyway, let's keep going. So here he is doing more damage. This wall was protected the villagers, but then you'll see they don't end up working. And then my first skirmishers come out. So I'm clearing his stuff up. I get walled out. He does a good job here, walling my drush out. And my skirms are just kind of patrolling. This is really bad. He does a great job looping around, and I lose this villager. You know, generally speaking, gotta wall. Like the villager that's walling, I have to be able to defend them, right? I have to have supporting cast, otherwise it's bad. And then when I was focused on that part, my guys happened to walk into the town center fire. So anyway, very sloppy play from a feudal age perspective. Here I lose a skirmisher, which should never happen, especially against man-at-arms. But anyway, the man-at-arms is cleared. And so it's kind of like, what next, right? What's going to happen next? You can see we're actually at similar vil count. Or I guess I'm one vil behind. I don't think he has wheelbarrow. Let's check that real quick. Nope. So it's roughly even. I'm down one vil net. I don't think I killed a single... Well, maybe I did. Maybe I killed like one or two vils. And then definitely cleared out the man-at-arms. No, I guess, no, I didn't get a single vil kill because it was 3 kills, and that was the 3 men-at-arms. Anyway, so defending, learned my lesson with that villager over there, brought my army back to defend the front, and then here he is coming in with the archers, right? So the good news about this, I'll just slow down for this engagement here. The good thing about this is Lithuanian skirms, like if they start getting attacked by like scouts, I guess it's not the end of the world because I can sort of run away, and then I can get a spearman out too. So it's just kind of situational, but like, man, I honestly, if you can tell from the KD ratio here in the feudal age, it's not good. My opponent also has researched a wheelbarrow now. That's why I popped ahead in villager count. I probably should have fought this with vils. I mean, it's not like the scrims are really hurting me, but what I probably should have done was get more upgrades. You know, he's got the +1 on the range and the attack. I don't have that yet. I got the armor first, which is probably okay, but I need to get both. Finally cleared out that scout with a spearman. And then, like, yeah, I just need better unit control. Like, I can't afford to lose so many units, right? Like, this is a 13 to 7 KD ratio. He's almost doubling the number of kills. And he killed one more, at least one more, probably closer to 2 more villagers than I did. And all these vills are still exposed. So it's really smart for him to mix an archer and a skirm here, because an archer can deal much more damage to a villager. As you can see here, they just one-shotted a villager, or you know, they killed a weak villager, I guess. But the skirmishers are able to tank, you know, other arrows. So anyway, he did a great job, I think. In like if I were to give us points, like I would give myself like a C for feudal age, and him is closer to like a B plus. And he's faster to feudal castle age, excuse me, and we're at even vil counts. But he also has wheelbarrow, so that's the equivalent of like 4 villagers ahead. So this is pretty bad. And so once I saw this, I was like, well, that's not good. I mean, I'm walled now for the most part, and I can complete this front side of my base. But what's not good is I'm sure he's thinking about clicking up to castle. I lost more units than he did, so it probably, and given the size of our armies, it probably means he had more resources to play with to get to. And he balances his resources really well to avoid stockpiling too much gold in feudal age. And now here comes a double knight transition, double stable knight transition. I think I scout some of that. Yep, I see the stable. And I'm just trying to pick off whatever. I think this is his mistake. He had some weird like rally points, I guess. So he wasted a couple of units just like going random places. So that was a good fight. But where's the second stable? There it is. So yeah, the Franks with the +20, the free bloodlines basically. Plus 20% HP. It's just so strong right out of the bat once they choose to do it. And now even though I'm up to Castle Age myself, what I was desperately trying to do was to do a little bit of eco damage. Maybe if I get lucky, I'll get a Vil pick, but do some damage. Ideally, I hit the gold, because the more I hit the gold, like the harder it is for them to make knights. But look at his eco now. He's got 800, 400. He can easily just boom, right? You know, crank out a bunch of knights, right? And that's what he does. He's building knights. So I'm still here trying to like make it messy. I probably should run honestly right now. But it's a little bit too late. I'm too caught in the open, and the issue is like he sees my army. If I can like kill his scouts and then walk away, then it could actually be good. But he sees my army. Frank's got that extra vision on their knights anyway. I think it's a pretty strong bonus honestly for raiding, and now he's gonna clean up my army. But so he won, like he won Dark Age, right? Somehow his man-at-arms rush beat my pre-mill Drush, mostly because I didn't scout with the scout early enough to find where his base was, where he did a good job finding my base. He won the Dark Age, he won the Feudal Age, and now he's winning early Castle Age. Now we're even in terms of Vil count, but I don't have Wheelbarrow yet, I'm pretty sure. And I need to get it. Let's see, do I have Wheelbarrow yet? Oops. No Wheelbarrow. So now he's trying to bust down my walls. He's adding in some skirms. He's staying on 1 TC. This is probably how I would have played it, honestly, if I knew I was this far ahead. You know, I got faster to Castle Age. What do I do in response? Well, this second town center probably wasn't the best idea, given how much I need to defend and build army for it. But I felt like I wanted to protect some of my lumber, so I built second town center. The site is still exposed, but I built a monastery. The monastery immediately is really helpful because, man, like nothing hard counters knights like monks. I mean pikemen are okay, but they're slow, and even with Lithuanian pikemen, man, like I'd have to build like 2 barracks, and it would just take too long to tech into the pike. The monk comes out immediately, would deter some action, right, by getting a conversion or 2. So he's beating me in early. Look at this. He's got 3 Vils ahead of me. I still don't have Wheelbarrow, I'm pretty sure. And then he broke into my base because I didn't quick wall this in time. It was smart for his little skirmishers to kind of deny my walling villagers here. I could have managed that part better, I think. But anyway, now he's running in. I'm trying to wall off this side. He's probably going to get another Vil pick or 2. But the good thing I'll say I do is just to continue, like don't stop building, right? Keep building knights, fight with the knights. Like, don't let him raid my eco, and then start converting. Like, man, and I think I got a pretty quick conversion there. I'm pretty sure that was him. So I run back. Nothing like the sound of a monk to deter, you know, opponents' knights from coming. So I'll speed up a little bit here. So he's just poking around. Like the front of my base, like is technically still open. Let's go to his view. So he sees like a gap here. I'm trying to make more monks, and I need to wall off this side because I can see him going off here. But now my second town center is starting to pay off. We've evened the Vil count. I'm trying to produce from both, and I'm getting Wheelbarrow, and I'm trying to keep my TCs pumping. What he probably could have done to end me, honestly, was probably go 3 stable knights. If he's staying on 2 town centers this long, a 3rd stable. Oh, he does have 3 stables, I see. I don't know. He's just not producing. If he like did something along the lines of like 3 stable knight production, which he could clearly do right now, and add in some pikes, I would have a really, really hard time. But now he's teching into light cav to counter the monks, which is kind of weird. I mean, it works, but like light cav die hard to knights and pikes, so it's just a little too early for that. But you know, meanwhile, I'm just gonna continue building knights myself. But yeah, you see, he's floating out a lot of resources here. Anyway, from my perspective, I'm trying to make as many farms and keep my my count low. This fight, play this in slow-mo. So this fight was not good by me. I think I got a conversion or two here, but this is because of like the pikemen in there, which is kind of hard to see sometimes. It looked like I thought I was gonna get a pretty good fight, but the pikemen tanked a lot for the opponent knights, and then I just ended up losing the fight. So I was like, oh shit, gotta run. Though you know this is not like it wasn't like a lopsided victory in favor of him. He just has a couple of extra knights. But anyway, I'm still walled off. And I think I'm starting to think about a third TC. So he at this point built his second TC right here. So he's realized his push isn't working. He got a stone. This is a really weird place for a castle. I think it would have been better here or I don't know, anywhere but here. Or even here. But he is thinking of castle dropping me. He's got people on stone already. He had a great eco, right? Like he won Dark Age and Feudal Age. He's working himself with the Franks with the frickin' cheaper castles costing only I think 488. It's 488. Yeah, it's so cheap. You know, he can just drop them all over the place, and that's what he ends up doing. But in the meanwhile, here's my third TC. All I'm trying to do is play the boom game because I'm trying to defend. I feel like if I can get him to a point where he just overcommits on army without doing a ton of damage, that's how I can get back in the game. And you know, as shitty as my micro is in the early game, I really trust my post-imp game a lot. I think I'm really good at that, at least for my ELO range. And so as long as I can survive, right? So anyway, he's in. I'm trying to convert. I think I get 2 conversions. Probably should have run the monks away, but whatever. He's dealing damage. He's murdering some people, but taking a lot of town center fire. This, to be honest, when I saw this castle here, I wasn't that afraid. Yes, it denies this gold, but I have access to other gold, and I think this like tile of gold doesn't get its own mining camp until like the Imperial Age. So there's some misplay on my half. Some other misplay I have. Somehow my villagers got queued up going to the middle of nowhere. Don't know what that was about. And now they're gonna just walk in front of this castle like a bunch of dumbasses. But anyway, I wasn't too worried about this castle because it's just gonna shoot down a few houses and whatever. But what is it really threatening yet, right? So I was okay with that. I built a defensive castle here, just to kind of. I would have loved it better if it was like here, but just because of space constraints and it would be probably too easy for him to attack the front here. I just don't get that there. Anyway, look at the Vil count. I'm up, and we're both on our way to Imp. He is a little bit faster though, and you know, for as much like eco damage as he did in the Castle Age, I'm still in higher in terms of villagers because I'm pumping out my stuff, and then he actually denied a relic. Oh, I gotta speak about the relic real quick. So the relic positioning in this game was nuts. There was like one that the monk just picked up. It was like right here. Then there's like one here, and then there was like another one here. It was like in the center of the map. So, and then where's the 5th one? I think the 5th one was like somewhere up here, and he picked that up relatively quickly. That's why his monastery was here. So like all of my, you know, Lithuanians get the +1 from the relics, right? Every single relic except the one on the side was basically much closer to his side of the base than my side of the base, which I thought was BS afterwards. But anyway, you know, as Lithuanians, it's always nice to get relics. It's not a must-have. It's just a really nice to have. But the other thing I want to talk about was the heading into Imperial Age, the unit compositions. So Franks, typically the cookie cutter Frank player would do knights. Then once they see the opponent getting too much pikemen, they'll go into throwing axemen. So double gold unit composition, and it's pretty much unbeatable. I mean, knights kill everything except pikemen, right? Like one-on-one, or I guess camels, but even then, it's relatively an okay trade. And I, as Lithuanians, obviously don't have camels, right? So the only thing knights die hard to are monks, but once you have so many monks, it's like practically impossible for me to convert all of them just because of the micro it takes. So Franks likes to do knights to kill everything except pikemen, and then throwing axemen for the pikemen. So it's a very hard composition to stop. So I know this, that he's you know, with the sheer number of castle he's kind of like spreading across the map. I think, let's see, Oh, I actually see only one castle right now, but it's safe to say, like, safe to assume that before he did his forward castle, he would have gotten a castle at home. But if he gets multiple castles, he's gonna start pumping out throwing axemen. So I was thinking, well, my skirms are gonna be useless late game. As awesome as Lithuanian skirms are, they don't have a role in this Lithuanian versus Frank matchup. So that's fine. What do I do now to counter knights and throwing axemen, which is the likely composition that he'll throw at me? Well, I can go my own knights, which in theory should be on par. At least, like if I get a relic or two, yes, he has more HP because the 20% stacks better than the 20 raw HP points from Bloodlines. But yes, he'll have better HP, but my Cavalier should be on par with his Cavalier. If he goes Paladin, then I'm kind of screwed anyway if it gets that late. And then for throwing Axemen, I'm thinking, well, definitely not Skirmishers. I don't have Arbalests as Lithuanians. And the only unit I can think of that works well is Hand Cannoneers. Or maybe Scorpions, but then they'll die hard to the Knights. So I was thinking, all right, I got to get myself to Imp. Either way, if I don't get myself to Imp, I won't tread down his castles. He's in my face. He's in my grill. And if I don't get something to counter throwing Axemen, then I will not be able to counter his units with pikemen. So let's just see how this continues. Unbeknownst to me, he actually got to Imperial Age faster than me. So it's going to be pretty sketchy. And here he comes with a second castle drop. And I see that and I'm freaking out because, you know, I can't fight. My pikemen can't fight under his TC. They'll just kind of walk to their deaths. And I can't really do much. And also the pathing here is just dumb. The pathing is very awkward. I think I try to deny the castle with a couple pikemen here. Don't do a great job. But the first, so the first thing I need to do, get the trebuchets out, right? He's already got 2. This is the issue. He got to Imperial Age faster. So he's got 2 trebuchets. And I got 1. And he's got 2 castles, so they can crank out more trebuchets. I got 2 castles. I just got the second castle up. So the castle play is like what sort of ultimately drives the outcome of this game. So all the action is up here. There's no side raids. There's nothing really going on. I sacrifice. I do this kind of charge, take down 1 treb, didn't take down the other treb, and then I don't know if you just saw that these trebs. Somehow I ended up targeting like a bunch of trees for no reason. I don't know, that was a misclick. But not only that, but they're not shooting at the castle. And then this treb chooses to walk away for absolutely no reason. He does a great job of keeping it alive with repair. But, you know, so I lose my castle. And losing this castle is going to be no bueno. But the good news is I have 2 trebs still alive. And he's going here trying to kill him. Okay, killed 1. Lost like all his light cav in the process. I got 2 trebs here, taking down this treb. Like keeping the trebs alive is super important. And then I think I had like a stray villager here. Like remember I queued a bunch that went this way. I had a stray villager. I was like, well, I need a university to get and chemistry to get to hand cannoneer. So let me start researching chemistry on this side of the base for no good reason. But now I'm gonna prep siege workshops in the back. Hopefully, the archery range is clearly for the hand cannoneers, but they're squishy, right? Hand cannoneers are pretty weak. They got 35 HP, so they gotta keep them away from the knights. And I was feeling okay. Like I mean, this spot was probably about as shaky as early Castle Age when the knights came charging here, if you remember, and he had the numbers on the knights. But I felt like, yes, he's got like a lot of castles and such, but I have the trebs. I can take down at least 1 castle and then contest the second castle, and I am prepping a counter for throwing axemen. The throwing axemen have very poor range, and the attack, the really high attack from the hand cannoneers should just demolish them. So I'm feeling okay at this point. I mean, not too happy. I'd much rather be taking the fight to him, but it's okay. The Vil count you see is relatively even. And then you see so a couple of throwing axemen, he smartly like made them go over here, and then I lost a bunch of folks that were just lumberjacking. And then made him walk over here to build a town center. The town center got denied. He like murdered all of them as he was building. And then I didn't like delete the town center, so I lose all the resources. It's pretty dumb. But anyway. So here, cleared out that first castle. And now I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like for the first time in this game, I'm going to start to be doing the one that does the pushing. So I researched, what's it called? Not tower shields. Yeah, tower shields from the Imperial Age tech to get my pikemen +4 total pierce armor. So now they're a little bit less squishy to walk into castles. Actually, I do have halberdier in the late game, so I have that as a back pocket option, even though I don't want to do it right now. And I'm floating a lot of wood and gold. What costs wood and gold? Well, trebuchets and bombard cannons. So I'm a little bit late. I thought I made him a little bit earlier in the game, but I guess I'm still really preoccupied up here. The KD ratio is still relatively even. He's got numbers on me, but that's because I'm making a lot of trash units with like the pikemen. A lot of them are just honestly dying. And I don't think he doesn't have murder holes, I don't think. We'll see. But anyway, he's not trebbing really anything. Like his trebs are what? Like they're attacking my trebs, and that's basically it. But I'm gonna start wrecking this. I think I distract him a little bit with a couple of raids. Honestly, I should micro these better. I should manage like this better. It's better to like have him run around as soon as you see the counter unit. But anyway, so he's cleared out this side of the base. He even destroyed my blacksmith, which is no fun. But I have a nice army of hand cannoneers. So, and he's going Hussar. So actually Hussar should do pretty well against hand cannoneers if you get the right numbers and they close the distance. But I got the pikemen now. So it's just so interesting how the two top tier civs, cavalry civs, are not going cavalier. I don't know why, honestly, he didn't make more. I guess he's still cranking out knights and he is researching cavalier, but it's pretty late. Like this is already getting into post imperial instead of early imperial. But he doesn't have cavalier. I have some cavalier, but most of them are dead. And like the fight in the middle is this really funky war between pikemen, light cav from him. He doesn't get Hussar. I get Hussar. And then like I've got hand cannoneers and pikes. It's just a funny fight in the middle. But it's kind of how it had to evolve to be, because I was anticipating like the throwing axemen, right? So anyway, he sends a bunch of Hussar or light cav to their death. I got my hand cannoneer in the back. I gotta keep these on stand ground. I don't want to lose them. They're kind of expensive. And they're pretty squishy. Again, 35 health, but they're pretty strong, man. They're like a ball of death. And here comes my BBCs and my raids, and I'm at 140. I think I do a good job keeping like Vil production the whole game. That's one thing he kind of stopped doing, honestly. And I've expanded to the sides here. I got a castle. I'm securing the right side. He secured his right side with stone walls, which is actually pretty good. But I'm trying to like, let me slow down a little bit. Trying to like raid. I wanted to start going full Hussar right about now, and like you can see my economy's kind of starting to be set up for it. Man, playing against Franks is such a pain in the ass, because they always have so many castles, and you just got to push one after the other, and then they might just build some more behind it. It's a pain. Here comes his cavalry, pretty strong. I should have microed this, and I need more pikemen. I don't know actually how this ball survived. I guess it's just because, you know, hand cannoneers are pretty strong. And I'm running really low on food because of all my Hussar, but I'm just kind of like running people all over his base, man. I mean, he's like late this game. You've got, everyone has holes, right? Like there's no way like your entire base is sealed off. There's going to be ways to get in, and as long as I can keep pushing, I'll be in a good spot. So he's got so many idols. Let's look at his resources. 4,000, 1,500. He could have probably gone into like Scorpion or Heavy Scorpion or something like that, because that would really take care of the pikemen and the hand cannoneer conservation. But now, without really ever destroying any of his base, he taps out. And he taps out I think partly because it was a freaking 1 hour, or game time was 1 hour. I think real time was like 40 something minutes. But game time was really long. I was raiding here. I was getting ready to raid elsewhere. I had more map control. He never really expanded past this, and this castle again did really nothing for him. He did a great job contesting relics. Very smart. I was on my way getting this to claim this half-eaten gold mine back. But I guess he just realized he didn't have an answer for hand cannoneer. And if I keep those on the field alive and I support them with pikemen and hussar, I guess I don't need to go like the really expensive cavalier, right? Because I always can deal with the cavalier, and then I've got the I can keep making bombard cannon and trebuchets to kind of continue sieging him down the middle. So all in all, at the end of the game, it ended with a fight in the middle. That was a victory for me, but I think he just kind of gave out because he was too tired or something. But the KD ratio is very even. I had a better eco. I think I played post-int better. But yeah, it was super crazy, super fun game. The main takeaways: Dark Age, I gotta clean up. I don't know why my Drush just didn't find any damage before his man-at-arms did. That's unacceptable, because the whole point of the pre-mill with Drush is to get to the opponent's side of the base faster. And he played unorthodox with the archers and feudal age as Franks, which is weird, but that's okay. And then I think I defended his early castle age pretty well. I was a little bit late to Imperial, but I'm glad I made it to Imperial roughly on par with him. And then there was a whole bunch of Treb Wars here. And then anticipating the tech switch into throwing axemen, I went hand cannoneer, probably a little bit late, but better late than never. And then I just had better raids. Like I had like my people just all over his base and causing him to garrison or run back and stuff. I think like the main thing he could have done earlier was like to beat me would probably if he gone 3 staple and spent all his resources, he would have just crushed me because of his better eco heading into castle age, and because I was trying to like do 2 TC boom behind it. It was kind of rough. But yeah, okay, well, let me show you guys the position of the relics. Here we go. BS, right? So this is the only one that's you can say is neutral because it's like in between us. Maybe this one, but I would say it's closer to him than me. And then so this one's close to me, but it's far for me to find it. Like I don't think I even found it until like I just wandered a monk or somewhere. He's got 1, 2, 3 relics within like walking distance, and then he's got another one that's it's just nuts. Terrible relic spawning in my opinion.